All right, what's going on, everybody? And today I have two interesting kind of topics to talk about, two of which genuinely just, make this whole year just a lot worse. Not that the year is bad enough as it is already, but this just perfectly sums up that this has been just one of the worst years ever. And unless you guys don't know, today we're going to be talking about the whole conflicts going on between North Korea and South Korea, while also kind of going on and talking about the whole India and China conflict, all right? But yeah, with that keep being said, get your cold glasses of. So with that intro out of the way, I just first want to say this before we go on with the whole topic, that I honestly don't think that this is gonna cause a world war. I honestly think that it might cause a conflict, but I mean a major war. I think it's a little too early to have that sort of speculation. But I mean, who knows? 2020 has just been an entire shit fest. So at this point, this should just slip under the radar, and it should be least of your worries. But yeah, with that being said, let's talk about what has happened. So apparently, North Korea has threatened to enter the whole demilitarized zone, which separates both North Korea and South Korea. And basically, the reason why they're doing this is supposedly because they are trying to, I guess, stop the whole South Koreans sending propaganda into the North and all that stuff. And you know what? I'm not into politics. I really could care less. But I mean, yeah, that seems pretty bad. Sending propaganda into another country, that's pretty bad. And I mean, I'm gonna say this right now. I don't condone, or I mean, not condone. I don't support or am against, mostly because I don't live there. So I mean, it's really whatever. I really don't care. And you know what? The fact that North Korea is willing to send troops into this zone just to stop, propaganda being sent to this country doesn't even surprise me in the slightest. You see, because South Korea and North Korea have been at it for a long time. This whole demilitarized zone was created back in the 50s after the Korean War, right? So, I mean, they're enemies, literally, all I'm saying. And so, yeah, it's pretty expected that they're gonna, show this kind of behavior because, South Korea is sending in propaganda into their country and all that stuff. So, I'm not surprised. What I am surprised though is about what happened also recently. So if I were to have told you that North Korea blew up a sort of building, sort of an embassy basically. I mean, you can't really call it an embassy, but it's basically a building where representatives from North Korea and South Korea would meet and, just discuss things, political issues and stuff like that, right? Now, North Korea blew this building up. And if I were to have told you that this only happened just a few hours, they were, threatening to send troops into the demilitarized zone just within a few hours, you would not believe me. This seems like something that would happen maybe a day because obviously there are articles just being pumped up by, just news outlets, just every day. North Korea did this, North Korea did that, all of that. It's never ending, really. But no, this happened a few hours, and it's like that one meme where it's like peace was never an option. North Korea peace, psh, get out of here, come on, really. But yeah, memes aside, it's basically as if like it's bad enough as it was back when, this whole building was intact and, they were allowed to actually discuss some political stuff. It's basically gotten just really worse, really. So the reason for why this whole building was taken down by the North Koreans, I have no clue. I tried, trying to research this, as much as I could. But let's be honest, I'm kind of lazy, so some of it I didn't really understand. Like I don't know what the whole conflicts were, but yeah, that's really it. So basically, I guess what this is a huge, 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 really power movement. Like North Korea has officially just shown it to South Korea that they don't give a shit. Peace? No, they really don't care. And let's be honest, if North Korea was, peaceful, this whole relationship between North Korea and South Korea would have been resolved ages ago, decades ago. But it seems that it's getting worse and worse as the time goes on, and so this is just one of those many things that have happened in the past. Hopefully this whole relationship between North Korea and South Korea doesn't get any worse. Hopefully, knock on wood, and stuff like that. Actually, my desk isn't even made out of wood, so oh well. What are you gonna do about that? But yeah, like this whole demilitarized zone, I know I'm bringing it a lot because it's pretty important. It's what separates both countries. Now, I can say that it is one of the most, powerful sort of, I guess, what is it? God, I can't speak today. Borders between both countries because there is actually another huge, I guess war. You can't really call it a war, but a conflict going on between a border as well. And this is the other topic I was going to talk about. It has to do between both India and China. So this whole conflict is going on between the Himalayan border, which is which I guess kind of separates, I guess, China and India. And so basically, this isn't even some of their first, rising tensions and conflicts between both countries. Their first actual, deadly clash between both of them was near the same area at least 45 years ago, at least according to this article. So I guess the best way I can describe this is basically India and China are both fighting for what they believe is their land, land that they control, right? And I mean, it's not like even if this land is, I guess, it's really important. It's like sub-freezing temperatures there. So I mean, whatever. It's land. It's land. If you want to own it, sure. And so basically, what ended up happening is what at least what China said is that Indian forces sort of, I guess, entered their sort of territory, and so China ended up, attacking them. And you know what's funny out of all of this? What I found just, interesting was that according to this article, there were no shots fired, not a single bullet. Essentially, what I guess happened was that, Chinese forces and Indian forces fought against each other with just, rock throwing and, I don't know, clubs and stuff like that. It's like, what? I mean, these are armed forces. I mean, at least there were no guns. I'm pretty sure that could have escalated the whole situation. But I mean, yeah, there were casualties. At first, it was estimated that like only like a few, three or four, were injured. But then after sustaining wounds and all that stuff, it resulted in at least 20 Indian soldiers being killed. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's got to place some more tensions on top of what's already been placed with the whole who owns what and all that stuff. And you know what? In all honesty, I don't think this is by far one of the, I guess, biggest conflicts that we've seen in the world. Because I mean, first off, let's be honest. Who ever thought that this was a whole conflict that China and India were fighting over, territory, that there was, problems between them? No, because in the grand scheme of things, everyone talks about North Korea and South Korea and how, they're divided and all that stuff. No one ever thinks about, India and China. I mean, that's when I first read this, I was completely surprised, bamboozled. There are, I'm pretty sure, other countries that have similar problems, similar situations, and I just don't take the time to read and learn about this. But I kind of, I guess, found something new today. And so I guess with that whole being said, there were just so many talks about World War III being imminent, all over the internet and the news. And like by the whole China India situation, I don't think so. I honestly don't. It's very small that there are just so many little people that know about this. The whole North Korea and South Korea stuff, I can see that happening. It's just like, when have we not heard the situation escalating so hard that World War III is imminent, grab your guns, all that stuff. It's just gotten so overused, the fact that World War III was going to occur. And I mean, for fuck's sake, that had World War III was imminent when 2020 was about to start. Tensions between the U.S. and in the Middle East. So like, I don't know what to believe anymore. And I guess what's interesting, another thing that just recently happened is that network companies in the United States were just completely DDoS. And basically, if you don't know what that means, basically, there was no internet service, you couldn't make calls, couldn't message people, all that stuff. And I guess an anonymous Twitter account said that it speculates that it may be China because of the whole situations between South and North Korea. They, I guess, didn't just want the United States to figure out what was going on. You know what? I honestly don't believe that. I honestly just think that there was, some sort of, I guess, error between all these networks and all that stuff. Because, Anonymous, as much as you want to believe that they exist, because it's whatever, I don't really care. But for them to have a Twitter account and, just be typing this sort of shit just seems really unbelievable. But, whatever, it's 2020. I mean, then again, there have just been so many other crazy things that happened this year, so it's whatever. And, I actually didn't even know this happened until I did some research, because I actually had internet. One, I did have internet. I just couldn't call. I was on my browsers and all that stuff, but I couldn't call, order a pizza and stuff like that. So, I mean, that caught me by surprise. And so I guess most people, have their own speculations. They believe it was some sort of, I guess, cover up story, some sort of. Really, people just making these wild assumptions, right? What I believe is different from what you may believe. You may believe all these supernatural things. I believe it's just an error. That's literally all it is. Now, going back to the whole speculations between the war, World War III. do I believe that there is an imminent attack of World War III? Now, because if we take a look at this on a broader scale, if there were to be a small war between, North Korea and South Korea, shit just went loose, they just didn't care. They went all for it, 1v1 me on Rust, no scope and all that stuff. This would have a tremendous effect, not just on the political state of the world, but also, the economical state of the world. Because, if South Korea just, goes all out on North Korea, of course the US is going to get involved, and a bunch of other countries. There's going to be a major war and all that stuff. So I can't really say that there's going to be a war, because I'm a teenager in my room that's probably going to go masturbate right after making this video. So it's like, I can't even say what will become of this, because I can just be completely wrong. World War III can erupt right after I make this video, or nothing's gonna happen. Everything's gonna remain the same. So, I mean, I guess just go with your gut, live on with your day. Don't worry about anything, I guess. That's really what you should take out from this story. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was pretty weird. I'd never gotten this political, but I mean, it's not even that political. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm out. Peace. The truth.